Now, why did Prospero make Miranda to sleep? Anybody wants to try answer? Why did Prospero put Miranda to sleep? Okay, Shubham.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, as Miranda was only asking questions from the Prospero, and
Okay.
his and by the fate, his friends also means from the enemy. Prospero wants to take revenge. They also
Okay.
come on that island.
Yeah, very good. Okay. That's right. Sania wants to add something or same thing?
Yes, sir. Maybe he had slept her daughter because maybe he was just want to talk personally to his servant.
Very good. Excellent. Both are correct. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. So both of them, what both said is correct. So two reasons. One thing is Miranda has been going on asking too many questions. That's one thing. And secondly, he is going to have a personal talk with Caliban. He has certain business to complete, which he does not want his daughter to hear. So for this, these are the two reasons making Miranda to sleep. Okay. Enter Ariel. Before that, Miranda sleeps. Come away, servant, come. I'm ready now. Approach my Ariel, come. So he is calling out to Ariel, come, come. I'm ready. My work is done. I was busy telling the story to my daughter that he does not tell him, but that's a meaning. I've done my work. Now you come. We shall carry on with our business. Then the Ariel, Ariel, all hail great master, grace sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. Be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to the strong bidding task, Ariel and all his quality. So Ariel is just coming, saluting Master, and he praises him. All hail. Hail means it's a salutation. Salutation. A way of addressing. It's a greeting, a cry of greeting. It's called a cry of greeting. A great way of addressing somebody. A bit of praising and rejoicing. He's very happy because he wants to praise his master. Normally, servants praise the master so that he'll get their wishes fulfilled. All hail, great master. Grave, sir. Here, grave means respected. Otherwise, grave has different meanings. One meaning of grave is important. Another meaning of grave is where you are buried. Grave is a place where you are buried. Graveyard, grave, and graveyard. So here the meaning is grave means respected. Respected sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. Answer here means satisfy. Best pleasure. That means I have come here to fulfill that which pleases you. I have come here to fulfill that which pleases you, that which makes you happy. Just tell me. Whatever you want to do, just tell me. I'm at your command. Then he says, what all see? This is a all capable spirit. Ariel is all capable spirit, capable of doing everything. There are some spirits who spears. Spear means the area they work is limited. Some work only on land, some work in the sea, water, some work in the air, some have limited powers. But Ariel was an all-powerful spirit, all-doing. So he says, be it to fly, or to swim, or dive into the fire, or to ride on the curled clouds. Whatever you want, just tell me. Anything you tell me, I'm ready to do. You want me to fly to the skies? I will do. You want me to swim in the seas? Ready. You want me to dive into the fire? I can dive into fire and come do the thing and come back. Or you want me to ride on the curled clouds? Curled clouds, the curled clouds, the twisted clouds, anywhere, anything, I'm ready. To thy strong bidding task, to thy strong bidding task. Bid means to say, bid means to say. Here bid means to command, to command. To bid means to command. So you just command anything I am ready to do. To thy strong bidding task, whatever task you command, Ariel and all his quality is ready. Here quality means companions. Ariel has lot of assistants, helpers. Ariel is a all-powerful spirit who has got many helpers. He has got a team of spirits working with him. So myself and my team is just ready. We just command anything. We will do it. Prospero, hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest I bade thee? Hast thou, spirit, here spirit means Ariel. Ariel, my spirit, hast thou means did you perform to point? To point means precisely, that is exactly, exactly or accurately. The tempest that I bade thee. I bade means I commanded. I commanded you to perform the tempest. Have you performed to the point? That means accurately, exactly have you performed? Or did you make some changes? Or you could not perform what I asked you? Did you perform it to the point? So it's one question normally students get confused with. Okay. That is, who created, who raised the tempest? Who raised the tempest? It is Prospero who raised the tempest. There are some students who answer immediately, Ariel. No, it is not Ariel who raised the tempest. Tempest was the creation of Prospero with his magical abilities. Who helped him to achieve it? That is Ariel. Ariel helped him to perform the storm, but the tempest was the creation of Prospero. Never forget. That you should always remember. So it was the handiwork of Prospero, raising of the tempest. So now Ariel answers. It's a kind of what you call evaluation of the work done report. Now Ariel will be giving a work done report. The principal gives us some task. Afterwards, you will have to submit a report, work done report. It's very common in the school, any working place, any office. It's a common thing, work done report. So now Ariel is giving his report. What does Ariel say? To every article means in every detail, without fail, up to the point, accurately, I have performed. Then he is explaining, I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I would divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, and the bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. So this is how I perform. How I boarded the king's ship, that is King Alonso's ship. Now on the beak, you know, beak is bow. Already I told you what is a bow. The parts of a sailing ship. Remember that. Throughout the drama, you should remember that the parts of the sailing ship. So now on the beak, on the bow, now in the waist, that is middle of the ship, the deck, that is upper deck. In cabin, in every cabin is a rooms assigned. Cabin is the rooms assigned to them. So every cabin. So I was at the bow, I was in the middle of the ship, I was in the cabin, I was on the deck, everywhere. From place to place. I went from place to place. In every cabin I flamed amazement. It was burning. He made the ship to burn. He created fire. Fire was burning everywhere. Some first in the bow, then people were amazed, all surprised, frightened. They looked at. Suddenly it was burning in the middle of the ship. Then suddenly it was burning on the top of the deck, on the top of the ship. Then suddenly it was burning in every room, every cabin. So I created such a nuisance. Sometime I would divide and burn in many places. I have done in two different ways. One is burning together, sometimes burning in part. I make it to burn on the bow, on the deck, on the cabin. Sometimes I made everything to burn together. Everywhere there was fire. So sometimes I would divide and burn in many places. On the topmast. What are the places? On the topmast. Now you know what is a mast. On the topmast, the pillar. On the topmast, the yards and bowsprit would I flame distinctly. Distinctly means individually. Individually. The mast will be burning suddenly. Then the topmast, then the place, then the yard, then the bowsprit. Bowsprit meaning is all the meanings are given there. Yards meaning is given a crossbar on a mast which support the sail. Bowsprit, boom extending from the bow to which the lower edge of the front sail is fastened. So you can imagine, if you remember the picture of that sailing ship, you'll remember. So different parts. Simply to say that he had followed two policies. That is, one is burning individually, another thing is burning together. On the whole, what was the aim? To create confusion, to create chaos, to trouble them, to create fear. That's all. Then meet and join. Then meet and join. A separate, distinct. Separately I will be burning, then I'll come together and burn it all together. Now there are two references there. Two references are there. One is a reference to Jupiter, the Greek god Jupiter. And then later on you will find one more reference to Neptune, the sea god. Neptune, the sea god. Jupiter was a god of skies, rain, and all that. And Neptune was a god of seas. God of seas. So there are two references there. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not, the fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yeah, his dread trident shake. This may be a little difficult. So far it was easy, now it will be a little difficult. Just pay attention. So he is giving two references to Ariel. He is giving his work report. In the work report, he is giving two references, how he performed his task. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps. So the meaning is given that Jove's lightnings. Jove or Jupiter is the supreme god of Roman mythology. His chief weapons is the thunderbolt and lightning. Thunderbolt and lightning. So Jupiter. Weapons. His weapons. Thunderbolt and lightning. So thunderbolt and lightning were his weapons. Jupiter is the Greek god from the mythology. He will be having two weapons. One is thunderbolt, another one is lightning. We have a similar god in our epics or in our belief, to what they call it, Varuna. Varuna is God, you know. Varuna Dev. What do you call the Varuna Dev? Varuna. You're familiar with Varuna, no? Varuna is one who is, he has what got thunderbolt, lightning. He is God makes the rains to fall. Varuna. Somewhat similar to that. Okay. So Jupiter, this is Indian God. This is Indian God. This is a Greek God. So he has got thunderbolt and lightning. When there is thunderbolt and lightning is falling in the rain. It's raining heavily and there will be lightning. And what will you hear? You'll hear claps. So that's the thing. So that is thunderclaps. Thunder and lightning is coming. The sound of the thunder will be hitting and the lightning will be going on. As a result, combined with the sound of the thunder and the lightning and the rain together, you'll hear the clapping sound. That's a thunderclap. So all the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning their not, that simply is saying that I did better than Jupiter. So Jupiter is known for his great performance in producing thunder and lightning, and I did much better than Jupiter. My show was a great show. People got scared. That's all. The fire and the cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yeah, his dread trident shake. Now he is speaking about next god, that is Neptune. A sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune. Meaning is given there and sight outrunning. Were not more sudden and startling to the sight. Okay. Neptune, the god of the sea, his chief weapon is the trident. It is pronounced as trident. What is a trident? Trident is you have a word called Trishul. I think it's a Sanskrit word or Hindi word. Trishul. Yes. Having Trishul, you know, that is having three forks, no? No, like if you have a okay, anyway, you know what is Trishul? Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay. Of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yeah, his dread trident. So trident is a three-pronged spear. Three-pronged spear. Pronged means, you know, prong is getting out. Prong. Three-pronged means having three prongs. Three-pronged spear. And often the Hindi movies often will be showing the woman who is attacked by a man. At the end, she will be in the temple, and at the end she finds no way to get rid of him. So suddenly you'll find the Trishul. the spear which was the deity is holding. So he'll take the trishul from the hand of the deity and pierce the villain and kill him. So that is we are very much used to it. So that is the trident. So that is a weapon of Neptune, the sea god. So what does the sea god do? The fire and the cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege. Neptune makes fire and sulphurous to roar down, pour down on the sea. That is when it rains heavily. When it rains heavily, lot of chemicals will be poured out. That is to add a fearful situation to the rain. So put together everything, both put together, I have tried to write down, I have written down the meaning here, I will read it out. The first one about Jupiter, what Ariel is trying to say is, it lashed about faster than lightning. So Jupiter's weapon is lightning. The way I made the ship to flame, it was faster than what Jupiter did. I have done better than Jupiter in burning it. That is meaning of the first reference. The second one is the fire and deafening cracks, that is a sound, seem to overwhelm even the god of the seas. God of the sea is Neptune. So the fire and dreadful cracks, the dreadful sounds seem to overwhelm even the god of seas, that is Neptune. I will send that one note. I will send it afterwards so that it will be clear. Okay. Like last time I sent a question answer, like that I will send it. What is the reference of these two? So to conclude, what Ariel is saying that I have done my job excellently well, just as you commanded. So much so, I overdid the gods. The god Jupiter, who is a god of the skies. And I have outdone the god of seas, that is Neptune. Prospero, my brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coin would not infect his reason. My brave soul, brave spirit. Now Prospero is appreciating the spirit. My brave spirit. So he is appreciating Ariel, who was so firm, so constant. So constant means consistent in doing things. That this coil, that is this turmoil or disturbance, would not infect his reason, will not make him crazy. So he's just appreciating him. Ariel, not a soul, but felt a fervor of the night. So Prospero is trying to say, if you do all kinds of these things, will they not go crazy? Who? The passengers. Those who witness these things, will they not go crazy? Yes, they will go crazy. They become mad. So well done, my servant, you have done a good work. If you do this kind of things, surely they would have gone mad. Ariel, not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad. So Ariel says, yes, you are right. They all went mad. They became mad. They lost their senses. And played some tricks of desperation. Played some tricks of desperation means desperate stunts. Just for survival. For the sake of surviving, they do a lot of tricks. They were trying out their own tricks. All but Marinus plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. then all afire with me. All but mariners, that is, except the mariners, plunge. Plunge means to dive into. Plunged in the foaming brine. Brine is salt water. Foaming brine, the salt water that is foaming with foam. F-O-A-M, foam. So, the salt water that is foaming, that is sea water. They all plunged into the sea water. Who all, except the mariners, everybody plunged into the sea water. Jumped into. And quit the vessel. They all left the vessel. They abandoned the vessel and jumped into the sea in order to save themselves. Because the ship is burning. Everywhere it's burning. Here, there, and the entire ship is in flame. So they all jumped into the sea except the mariners. Then all afire with me. Afire means on fire. Then all were in fire with me. The king's son Ferdinand, with hair up, staring, with hair up. Hair up means hair stand up. When do your hair stand up? For women, it may be difficult because their hairs are so long. To make it to stand up, I don't know. In some ghost pictures, no? Some eerie ghost pictures, they show the hair will go up like that. But for women, it's difficult. For men, it's so easy. So when do your hair stand up? When you are frightened, you are scared to the extent, to such an extent, so frightened, their hair will stand up. Not only this hair, all the hair on your body will stand up. So, Ferdinand, what happened to Ferdinand? The king's son Ferdinand, with hair up, staring. His hairs were standing up and he was staring. Then like reeds, not hair. Then like reeds means when his hair stood up, they did not look like a hair, they looked like reeds, small bamboos, reeds. And quit the vessel, he also left the vessel. Then, Then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped. Except mariners all jumped into the brine water, the salt water. Who was the first one to jump? It was Ferdinand. He was so frightened and his hair was standing up. And he was the first one to jump from the vessel into the sea. Cried, hell is empty and all the devils are here. While jumping, he shouted. What did he shout? Hell is empty and all the devils are here. Hell is empty. Hell is supposed to be the dwelling place of devils. The devils live in hell. God and the angels and good spirits live in heaven. That's a Christian understanding. You Hindus and others also may have some similar understanding. So, all the hell is empty, nobody is there. Why? All the devils are here. That's what Ferdinand shouted. Prospero. Why? That is my spirit. But was not this nice shore? These are my spirits. I send them. They are all my spirits. You don't worry. But was not this nice shore? Nigh means near. Was it not near the shore this happening? Ariel, close by, master, very close to the shore. Prospero. But are they, Ariel, safe? Are they safe, Ariel? Have you kept them safe? Ariel. Not a hair perished. Not even a hair is destroyed. Perished means destroyed, spoiled. Not even a hair is perished. They are all intact. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. Sustaining means supporting. That is the dress that they are wearing, the dress that they have put on. Not a blemish. Blemish means stain. S-T-A-I-N. Stain. Not even a stain is there. Not even a mark is there. But fresher than before. After the shipwreck, the dresses are looking fresher than before. That is how I have done it. And as thou badest me, thus thou badest means as you had ordered me. Badest is ordered. And thou ordered me in troops. Troops is groups. In troops I have dispersed them. Separated them into groups. Disperse means send them away. You have dispersal, no? After the assembly, you have dispersal. What is dispersal? Sorry, after the assembly, you have dispersal. And you have after school also, you disperse. Go away. So they were all made to go away in groups, as you had commanded. Disperse them about the Isle. About the Isle means from various parts of the Isle. Isle is island. I have made them into small groups and sent one group this side, one group that side, one group this side. Disperse them all in various parts of the island. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling off the air with sighs in an odd angle of the Isle, and sitting his arms in this sad knot. So, what did I do with the king's son, Ferdinand? The king's son have landed by himself. Landed by himself means alone. Others I made them into groups. But Ferdinand, his son alone, I made him to go alone. He has no company at all. Whom I left cooling off the air with sighs. So he is cooling himself there. He escaped from the shipwreck. Now he is there just enjoying the air with a sigh. Sighing to the air is deep breath. He is blowing breath, deep breath into the air and breathing in and breathing out, enjoying sitting there. In an odd angle of the island. Odd angle is a lonely corner. Odd angle of the island means a lonely corner of the island. So he's alone. Again. So he has no company, and he is sitting there breathing into the air and sitting his arms in this sad knot. So most probably his arms in sad moments, his arms folded sadly like this. Most probably he's sitting and just folding the hand, putting the hand on his knees. He's sitting there and breathing because he has no company.